Sorry guys, the video just cut out, so we'll start back with, I think, what Chris was talking about was detox, and he'd read the book, but he was still a little bit unsure on what to do next.
Yeah, so I read the book. It was a completely different approach to what I'd been told by doctors, by the medical industry, that I had to take these drugs. I'd go in, they would say, take this drug, I'd be okay for a few months, I'd go back to being ill again, which I now realise is just my body was being disrupted by the drugs, and then it was being allowed to heal, and then I was suppressing it again with a different drug. So I'd be in that cycle, and in that cycle the doctor would be saying what you eat doesn't affect it. I'd be asking different questions, would this help, because I felt a little bit helpless, and I realised that the drugs wasn't really going to be a good long-term solution.
Yeah, right. And so take us through the little bit of a detox. What did you experience? You talked about before it cut out, being in bed, and how long did it take?
Yeah.
You want to talk about it?
Yeah, so I came off drugs in August last year. I went into a hard detox in October. I was in bed. I was mostly in bed for probably about 6 weeks, and during that time I was doing a lot of raw foods, celery juice, mashed potatoes, just keeping it really basic. I knew that these foods were very nourishing. I knew that these foods would allow my body to heal, to channel the energy into healing rather than digesting. And I was going to the toilet quite a lot during that time. I know on this channel you like to talk about going to the toilet. My energy felt quite low, but at the same time my spirit felt high.
Yeah.
I knew that I was doing the right thing. I could feel my body healing. I knew when I lied down and took complete rest, I could feel I was on nature's operating table. I could feel everything working. I could feel myself healing, and so 6 weeks of that, and then one day everything flipped the other way. I started feeling much more physically energized, and I knew that at that point it was the light at the end of the tunnel. I was coming out, and the healing was done.
Yeah, I mean it's remarkable how amazing the human body is if we give it the right conditions, and that's what Chris did. All right. So after the detox, so what's your life like now? And what other foods have you introduced, for example? And you're not on any medication for one, which is amazing. And you probably won't be ever again in your life because you don't believe in medication. So basically, just give us a rundown on what your life is like now.
Yeah, so I would say it's completely back to normal. It's better than normal. It's better than it's ever been before, because I have a much cleaner body, because I'm more energized, because I have the freedom to do different things. I'm eating whole foods, plant-based, a lot of raw foods, a lot of fruit. When I'm at home, a lot of green juice, a lot of celery juice, and juicing lettuce and things like that. A lot of salads, steamed potatoes, avocado, things like that. Just whole foods that are nourishing. A variety of whole foods, no restricting. I eat what I want. I eat the things that serve me, and how you feel is the best marker of how your diet is. And I feel better than I've ever felt before, so that's a good enough marker for me.
Oh yeah, and obviously you still eat lots of fruit, because fruit is really something that once you start getting better and you feel better, you want to stick to eating that food, because it gives you the best digestion. You don't want to settle for anything less, do you?
Yeah, and one thing that I want to say is, a couple of years ago when I started eating more fruit, before that I was eating maybe 1 piece or 2 pieces a day. It was unripe, it was sort of yellow-green bananas, it was an orange that was cheap and it wasn't good, it wasn't sweet. Maybe an apple here and there. I don't think apples are that ideal. To go from that to completely change to eating a lot of fruit, to eating fruit for breakfast every single day, is a massive change for me. And I know for other people out there thinking about doing this, it feels like a massive change. But it was honestly the best thing I've ever done.
Yeah.
It was really amazing, and although the first bit, getting used to it, getting used to ripening bananas and things like that, and picking good fruit, it was, I fell down a couple of times, and when I started eating banana smoothies, my digestion felt a little bit off, but later I realised that's because my microbiome was completely different back then. It was used to digesting the processed foods, and I was getting a little bit of gas, a little bit of bloating from that. But few weeks, everything will balance out. You have the prebiotics feeding the new gut biome that enjoys the healthy foods, and now it feels fantastic. It's the best thing for digestion, and everyone should eat fruit for breakfast, regardless of digestive problems or not.
Yeah, exactly.
It's incredible.
And here's an amazing example of how someone has overcome their Crohn's disease through lifestyle change. And it's obviously not only diet that plays a massive role. Mentally you got to be prepared, and Chris was prepared for what he was going to do, and he's kept that mindset now even as well, because he doesn't want to go back to what he was before. So you want to change your lifestyle. So when you don't change, then nothing changes. So you need to allow your body to heal and allow your body to change itself. So
and I mean, these days when people around me, like I do a 9-to-5 job at the moment back home, and people will say, "Oh, we're ordering pizza. Do you want one?" I'll be like, "No, not for me." But yeah, they'll get that and they'll say, "Oh, don't you miss the cheese and pepperoni pizzas?" I'm like, I know if I eat that, I know what will happen, and I know it's not good. So I don't have cravings for that food anymore, for that kind of junk food, because I don't see it as food anymore. It's just junk, and I know how bad it will make me feel. So I don't want it anymore. So because I don't want it, there's no restriction. I eat what I want all the time, which is tasty food that will also do good.
And just to add to that, Chris is obviously vegan now as well. So obviously first you go plant-based, but then you find out about the atrocities that go on, with the animal agriculture industry. So when you see that pizza, you see all that suffering and death and all sorts of bad things going on there. So it puts you off, and it's a win-win-win. Okay, you've got the health, you've got the environment, and you've got no killing of the animals. So what more would you ask for? It works. It works really well. So yeah, I guess thanks, Chris, for being on our channel. You're inspiring so many people out there that have the same issue, and there's plenty of people with Crohn's disease out there. And do you want to talk about what you have planned and about Holistic Chris?
Yeah. So Shamiz can't heal the world by himself. There's millions of people out there that need to know this message, that need natural healing to get off of the medication and live the life that they're meant to live. So I want to carry on this good work and hopefully help other people with IBS and IBD in the future. So I've got a blog, holistichris.org, and Instagram @holistichris. So if you have any further questions, let me know.
Yeah, I'll post them down in the comments below, all his links. So any last words for anyone out there that is watching?
I just want to finish by saying people are fed by the food industry that has no care for health, and treated by the health industry that has no care for food. So have a think about that.
Okay. Cool. Well, thanks a lot, Chris, for joining us, and thank you for watching as well. Give this video a like if you liked it, and hopefully we'll see you next time in some other videos as well. So take care, guys. Bye.
See ya.